When it comes to places we still don't fully understand, the Amazon rainforest is right at the top of the list, if not at the very top. Despite the rampant destruction happening all around it, it remains one of the most mysterious places in the world, and part of that mystery comes from the fact that it's one of the few places on the planet we cannot easily explore due to its density and the dangers that lurk within. Ah yes, within the forest there are monsters, and these monsters come in all shapes, sizes, and levels of lethality. With that in mind, here are the 20 biggest monsters of the Amazon ever discovered. But before we begin, subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Now let's get started. Number 20, green anaconda. So what kind of monster should I start with? Well, it's hard to go wrong with a snake. After all, Indiana Jones struggles with them, so why shouldn't anyone else? Moreover, this isn't just any snake. We're talking about the enormous green anaconda, one of the largest snakes in the world, and indeed the heaviest snake on the planet in terms of body mass. When I say this, I mean that this snake can sometimes exceed 7 meters in length and weigh around 277 kilos. Ironically, many of these measurements for the green anaconda come from specimens that were captured and measured, so it's possible that even larger, longer, and heavier individuals are out there, just waiting to be discovered. What makes it monstrous is that it's a top predator, meaning it has no natural predators to fear, which means it can feed on practically anything it wants, and when it does, it's not pretty. These snakes like to swallow their prey whole and are fully capable of doing so, even if the prey is bigger than their mouth can accommodate. They simply unhinge their jaws and force the food inside. If you encounter one in the Amazon and notice a large bulge in its stomach, it means it has just eaten and is slowly digesting its meal. Another factor that makes it monstrous is its adaptability. It can live almost anywhere on land, in nearby rivers, and even climb trees to catch its food. For this snake, nothing is out of reach. The good news is, they don't eat humans, so even if you go to the Amazon now, you don't need to fear this snake unless you give it a reason to attack you. Number 19, arapaimas. The arapaima is the largest freshwater fish in the entire world, and when fully grown, it can measure around 3 meters long. So yes, the phrase big catch definitely applies to this fish if you manage to capture one. Size, however, isn't what makes it monstrous, although it helps a lot. What really makes it monstrous is its armor. That's right, it's an armored fish. Its scales have a hard mineralized outer layer with a corrugated surface, beneath which lie several layers of collagen fibers arranged in a particular pattern. In other words, its scales can make its outer body as hard as plywood, if not harder. Yet despite all this armor, it's incredibly flexible and capable of moving easily through water. Interestingly, although it's a freshwater fish, it needs surface oxygen to survive, so it regularly needs to come up to breathe. Number 18, giant otter. Let's shift focus to a creature that honestly isn't as monstrous as many others I'll discuss, but has been labeled a monster by humans, and as a result is nearing extinction. I'm talking about the giant otter. Yes, they really are giant. An adult can measure up to 1.8 meters in length, making it the largest of all otters. However, they have a highly refined social structure and aren't as threatening as one might think. But did that stop them from being hunted? Of course not. There was a time when they were hunted simply for being a nuisance. And later, when people realized their pelts were valuable, they were hunted in large numbers. That's why they ended up on the list of endangered species. Many believe that fewer than 5,000 giant otters remain in the world today. Isn't that tragic? People simply didn't like these otters and then hunted them further for profit. Reasoning like this can be the downfall of our world if we're not careful in the future. Number 17, jaguars. It shouldn't be surprising that a large cat exists in the Amazon, or even several. After all, why wouldn't there be? The difference is that the jaguar is the only big cat in the Americas, north and south, not counting pumas. To give you an idea, the jaguar is the third largest cat in the world, behind only the lion and tiger. But what really sets it apart from these two is its behavior and hunting style. Unlike lions and tigers, the jaguar lives alone, doesn't hunt in groups, and has no pride. Additionally, it's fully capable of swimming and hunting in water. This makes it a top predator in the Amazon, and it can even attack other top predators if it feels bold. With its agile body and powerful jaws, it can reach its target quickly and take down prey in just a few bites. In other words, you don't want to mess with a jaguar if you're unlucky enough to cross paths with one. Number 16, harpy eagle. Although birds aren't the greatest threats in the Amazon, it's important to note that many of them are formidable if you know where to look. Many are exotic and beautiful to see, but then there's the harpy eagle. This is one of the largest eagle species in the world, and another top predator of the Amazon. They can fly, dive, and capture their prey before it even realizes what's happening. Their enormous talons can exert hundreds of kilos of pressure, capable of crushing the prey's bones and killing it instantly. What's even more surprising is their relatively long lifespan. They can live up to 35 years, making them a constant and persistent threat in the Amazon. Humans don't really need to worry too much about them, but the question remains, do you really want to take the risk? I certainly wouldn't recommend it. Number 15, Amazonian manatee. You probably didn't expect to see this creature on the list. Few would call the Amazonian manatee a monster, but it's impossible to deny that it's a large creature known for attracting unwanted attention, which is why it became an endangered species. Amazonian manatees are found throughout the Amazon basin in countries like Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Brazil. They live in freshwater rivers, blackwater lakes, and lagoons, all connected to large rivers with abundant aquatic vegetation. They're the true definition of gentle giants and wouldn't intentionally harm anyone. However, humanity hunted them for a long time, making them vulnerable today. Additionally, it's difficult to track their population, so no one knows exactly how many remain. Number 14, giant anteater. For an ant, something the size of a giant anteater would certainly be a monster. But should humans think the same way? It depends on how you define the monsters you fear. The giant anteater is truly giant among its peers, reportedly reaching the size of a golden retriever. What may surprise you is its sense of smell, which not only surpasses that of humans, but outperforms it by 40 times. This allows it to locate all those ant hills it loves to devour. Interestingly, it doesn't consume the entire colony. These creatures are vulnerable to ant bites, so they feed for about a minute, taking advantage of the element of surprise, and then simply move on. Number 13, electric eel. Next, we have another classic river monster, both an incredible threat and yet perhaps not as dangerous as you might imagine. The electric eel lives up to its name. Its body contains special organs that can store an electric charge, which can be released at up to 650 volts. Just for comparison, that's more than a typical household outlet. Some claims suggest the discharge can exceed 8,100 volts. Scary, I know, but here's the question. Is it deadly? Well, it depends on the circumstances. This eel, which is not a true eel, uses water to amplify the electric charge, stunning or even killing its prey or predators. So could it kill a human? Not necessarily. It won't attack a person unless provoked, and even then, unless you're fully submerged in water and in poor health. The worst you'll likely experience is a shock or temporary disorientation. A true bolt from nowhere, right? Number 12, giant stingray. Here we have a truly monstrous creature in terms of size, which can be dangerous to humans if you're not careful, but generally the giant stingray just wants to be left alone as it wanders rivers and other bodies of water. The largest ever captured wasn't in South America but in Asia, a 4-meter stingray weighing over 300 kilos. Imagine the size of the barb. Yes, the barb is something to fear, as it contains toxins capable of harming a human, but these creatures are not aggressive. If you don't bother them, there's no reason to get stung. The lesson here, be smart and all will be fine, until you do something foolish, and then the barb could pierce your body, even bones. Number 11, giant armadillo. If you're easily frightened by a giant armadillo, then you probably fear everything. The giant armadillo isn't normally something to be feared, so why is it on this list? Because it has giant in its name, and we need higher standards for monsters. The giant armadillo can reach up to 1 meter in length and weigh up to 54 kilograms, making it a large creature, but nothing that demands immediate fear simply due to its size. It prefers to eat termites and some ants, often consuming an entire termite colony, which makes it slightly more aggressive than the anteater. This shows its appetite and what it needs to feel satisfied. Number 10, tapir. The tapir, Tapirus terrestris, also known as the Brazilian tapir or South American tapir, is one of the oldest mammal species still in existence, with fossil records dating back over 20 million years. Considered a primitive species, the tapir retains body features that have changed very little over time, demonstrating impressive evolutionary efficiency. Despite its robust body and calm appearance, the tapir is well adapted to survive in challenging environments and plays fundamental ecological roles. Adult tapirs can reach over 2 meters in length and weigh up to 400 kilograms, making them the largest terrestrial mammals in the South American forest after jaguars and pumas. Their bodies are compact and muscular, with short but extremely strong limbs, allowing them to run quickly when threatened, reaching speeds of up to 50 kilometers in short bursts, and move skillfully through dense vegetation. Their elongated head ends in a flexible, mobile snout used to grab leaves, fruits, shoots, and aquatic plants, becoming an essential tool for feeding and exploring their habitat. Tapirs are predominantly solitary, except during mating season or when females are with their young. Males are territorial and can become aggressive if intruders approach. They communicate through low vocalizations, roars, whistles, and markings with feces or urine. Despite their strength and size, tapirs prefer to avoid direct confrontation, relying on natural camouflage and speed to escape predators. Tapirs are semi-aquatic. They enjoy bathing in rivers, lakes, and swamps to cool off, remove parasites, and protect their skin from insects. Interaction with aquatic environments is vital for their survival, and they often cross watercourses to reach food sources or seek safe refuge. Their webbed feet facilitate movement in muddy terrain, making them highly efficient across varied landscapes. Their diet is strictly herbivorous, mainly consisting of leaves, fruits, bark, branches, and aquatic plants. This feeding habit makes them crucial seed dispersers. Many plant species rely on tapirs to transport seeds through their feces to new areas, maintaining forest regeneration and biodiversity. Some ingested seeds can survive digestion, later germinating and ensuring the continuation of various native plant species. Reproduction is slow compared to other mammals of similar size. Females come into estrus only once a year, and gestation lasts about 13 months, usually resulting in a single offspring. Newborns weigh about 10-15 kilograms and have striped and spotted fur that serves as natural camouflage. During the first months, they stay close to their mother, learning feeding habits, movement patterns, and survival skills. This prolonged dependence increases the species' vulnerability, making it susceptible to external threats. Areas. However, due to their size, strength, and defensive aggression, adult tapirs are rarely captured by predators alone. They can use powerful bites, kicks, and rapid running to escape dangerous situations. Young tapirs, on the other hand, are more exposed and rely on constant maternal vigilance to survive their first months. Human interaction has been a major threat to tapirs' survival. Hunting for meat, skin, or accidental capture in traps intended for other animals has significantly reduced some populations. Additionally, habitat destruction for agriculture, urbanization, and road construction has fragmented forests, limiting dispersal and increasing the risk of genetic isolation. The loss of ecological corridors prevents tapirs from finding new territories or mates, increasing the species' vulnerability. Conservation efforts have been implemented to protect tapirs. National parks and environmental reserves in Brazil, Peru, Colombia, Venezuela, and Bolivia preserve critical feeding and breeding areas. Population monitoring programs, environmental education, and anti-poaching campaigns help reduce threats. The tapir is classified as vulnerable by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, indicating that the species still faces significant risk, though it can survive when essential habitats are protected. Beyond their ecological importance as seed dispersers, tapirs contribute to the balance of Amazonian and Atlantic ecosystems, maintaining forest regeneration and plant diversity. Their presence influences the distribution of plants, herbivores, and predators, showing that even seemingly primitive species play a vital role in the complex ecological web of the forest. In short, the tapir is a primitive giant, incredibly adapted to life in the tropical forest. Its strength, intelligence, aquatic skills, and essential ecological role make it indispensable for environmental health. Observing and protecting the tapir is not just about saving an animal, it's about maintaining the ecological integrity of vast regions in South America, ensuring future generations can witness this millions of years old survivor, a true guardian of the forest. Number 9. Capybara. If you call the capybara a monster, it's time to reevaluate your sense of humanity. Yes, they are rodents, but the friendly kind. It's even possible to keep one as a pet. Standing about 60 centimeters tall with a curious expression, they often seem smarter than you. The capybara is the largest rodent in the world. Even New York's rats don't compare. Water is essential for them. They eat aquatic plants and use water to escape predators. If they feel threatened, they can stay submerged for several minutes until the danger passes. Additionally, capybaras are social animals, so if you want to keep them as pets, you typically need at least 2. Number 8. Amazon River dolphin. The Amazon River dolphin, Inia geoffrensis, also known as the pink dolphin, is one of the most iconic freshwater dolphins in the world, inhabiting rivers, lakes, and tributaries across the Amazon basin, which spans countries such as Brazil, Peru, Colombia, Bolivia, Ecuador, Venezuela, and Guyana. Unlike their marine relatives, these dolphins evolved to live in freshwater environments, adapting to variable currents, high turbidity, and seasonal flooding. They can grow over 2.4 meters long, with males generally larger than females, weighing up to 200 kilos as adults. Their coloration is particularly striking. While calves and young adults are gray, adult males develop a vivid pink color, which can range from pale to bright depending on age, health, and even blood circulation, an attribute that inspired Amazonian legends. This unique coloration, combined with their long fins and elongated snouts, gives them an unmistakable and almost mythical appearance. Amazon River dolphins exhibit complex and highly social behavior. They live in groups called pods, which can range from a few dozen to over 100 individuals, depending on food availability and season. Communication is sophisticated, relying on a combination of clicks, whistles, and pops, used for navigation, hunting, social interaction, and locating mates. Each dolphin has unique sound patterns, functioning almost like acoustic signatures that allow identification within the group. Their diet is diverse, reflecting the richness of Amazonian fish species. They primarily hunt at night when migratory fish and smaller species are more vulnerable. Preferred prey includes catfish, tetras, curimatans, and other species forming the river ecosystem's food base. Using echolocation, they detect the exact location of prey even in murky waters, capturing it with precision. Interestingly, there are reports of dolphins cooperating to encircle fish schools, demonstrating collaborative behavior and advanced intelligence. Reproduction is relatively slow. Females reach sexual maturity at around 5 to 7 years, males at 8 to 10 years. Gestation lasts about 11 months, usually producing a single calf, which stays with the mother for up to 2 years, learning hunting techniques and social behavior. The mother-calf bond ensures the young acquire essential survival skills in the complex Amazonian waterways. Their average lifespan in the wild is 20 to 30 years, although individuals in captivity can live slightly longer if properly cared for. Throughout their lives, they face numerous challenges, the greatest being human interference. River pollution, deforestation, dam construction, and overfishing directly impact their habitats, fragmenting populations and reducing prey availability. Additionally, accidental capture in fishing nets increases mortality for both calves and adults. Culturally, the Amazon River dolphin holds a fascinating role. Local legends describe the pink dolphin as a magical being capable of transforming into a human and seducing young people during riverside festivals. This mythology is as old as Amazonian communities, reflecting how humans have long recognized the special and mysterious nature of these dolphins. At the same time, these stories help reinforce the importance of protecting the species, linking its survival to regional cultural identity. Currently, conservation efforts are ongoing. Nature reserves, population monitoring programs, and environmental education initiatives aim to reduce human impact and raise local awareness about species protection. International and national organizations work to safeguard aquatic corridors, restrict harmful fishing practices, and combat river pollution. The Amazon River dolphin is classified as vulnerable by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, indicating its population faces increasing risk without proper intervention. Number 7. Red-bellied piranha. You probably expected piranhas to appear. After all, among river monsters of the Amazon, is there anything more dangerous than a piranha? They are often portrayed severely in movies and TV, but reality is different. Although they can be aggressive, red-bellied piranhas are not a constant threat. They are omnivores, not purely carnivorous, and often eat plants instead of meat. They are more scavengers than hungry predators, primarily attacking animals that are already dead or dying. This ensures a meal without risk of loss, and although they can form large groups that devour things in an instant, even down to bones. They don't actually hunt in groups. Red-bellied piranhas use their schools mainly for protection from predators. Here's the problem: nature and pop culture don't always align. For a long time, many people exaggerated the nature and behavior of piranhas, just like they did with sharks. That's why people fear them, when in reality, caution is all that's needed. Yes, you don't want to provoke a piranha, but you also don't need to constantly watch for them jumping into your boat to devour you. Number 6. Green iguana. At first, you might think the green iguana doesn't belong on a list of Amazon monsters, but as in life, something harmless can become quite dangerous. Although the green iguana is known to be non-aggressive and is kept as a pet by many people, it is also one of the worst invasive species in North and South America. You may recall that Florida is a hotspot for invasive species because people bring exotic animals and release them there. The green iguana is one of these species. It is so invasive in Florida that there are jobs literally dedicated to capturing iguanas for safe removal to prevent reproduction. Think about that for a moment, and if you think this isn't real, it was actually featured in an episode of the show Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe. Number 5. Golden poison dart frog. It's rare to talk about dangerous frogs, but here we are. The golden poison dart frog, as it is called, is a creature you should never ever touch. Its body produces an extremely lethal toxin that covers the entire skin. If any predator thinks of attacking it, the frog will have the final word, either by touching and poisoning the predator or allowing the venom to kill it from the inside if it tries to eat the frog. Interestingly, this toxin is so powerful that no one knows exactly how the frog is immune to it. It likely evolved some natural immunity, allowing it to produce the venom without harming itself. The name golden poison dart comes from the indigenous people of Colombia, who learned to use the frog's toxin safely by applying it to the tips of their darts, capable of killing all kinds of prey with a single touch. So, if you are on the Colombian side of the Amazon, don't think about touching any golden frog you find. If you avoid them, you may end up living longer. Number 4. Goliath tarantula. The Goliath tarantula, Theraphosa blondi, is considered the largest spider in the world by body mass, and one of the most impressive in overall size. Native to the rainforests of Venezuela, Guyana, and northern Brazil, this species is a true colossus among arachnids, reaching up to 13 cm in body length with a leg span exceeding 30 cm or more, and weighing around 175 grams, though some exceptional specimens can be even heavier. The name Goliath is no exaggeration. This spider is so large that its size commands respect even among natural predators. Its robust body is covered with thick, silky hairs that serve defensive, tactile, and camouflage purposes. The urticating hairs on the abdomen can be released when the spider feels threatened, causing irritation to the skin or eyes of predators or humans handling it. This chemical and mechanical defense is highly effective against birds, small mammals, and reptiles. The Goliath tarantula's habitat consists of dense, humid rainforests, usually near fallen logs, abandoned burrows of small mammals, or soil holes. This spider is predominantly terrestrial and nocturnal, remaining hidden during the day to avoid predators and maintain body moisture. At night, it hunts, using its large leg span and tactile sensitivity to detect vibrations in the ground, signaling the presence of prey. The Goliath tarantula has a diverse diet. Although the legend that they eat birds is exaggerated, there have been occasional reports of them preying on hummingbirds or small passerines. Most of the time, their diet consists of large insects like beetles and crickets, as well as amphibians, small rodents, lizards, and even young snakes. Capture involves a silent ambush, followed by a rapid attack with venomous fangs, enough to paralyze the victim before ingestion. After immobilization, the spider consumes the prey externally, injecting digestive enzymes that liquefy the tissues for consumption. Reproduction is another fascinating aspect of their biology. The male, smaller than the female, develops specialized organs called pedipalps to transfer sperm during mating. This process can be risky, as the female is strong enough to kill the partner, a common trait among large tarantulas. After copulation, the female lays 100 to 200 eggs in a protected sac, which she carefully guards until hatching. Young spiderlings already possess urticating hairs, but their survival depends on initial protection and the ability to escape natural predators. Despite its intimidating appearance, the Goliath tarantula is relatively slow and not aggressive toward humans. Direct attacks are rare and generally avoided, occurring only when the spider feels cornered or threatened. Human contact, especially in captive or scientific observation contexts, requires caution but poses no lethal poisoning risk. The Goliath's venom is designed to paralyze small prey, and its toxicity to larger mammals is low, although it can cause local pain, swelling, and irritation. Interestingly, the Goliath tarantula also has physiological adaptations for survival in high humidity environments. Its sensory hairs detect minimal changes in pressure and vibration, allowing it to anticipate predators or prey. Its respiration is efficient, allowing long periods of active hunting, and its metabolism is adapted to withstand periods of food scarcity. Spiderlings and adults can go weeks without eating after a large meal, storing energy and nutrients efficiently. Ecologically, the Goliath tarantula plays an important role as a predator of insects and small vertebrates, helping maintain population balance in its natural habitat. At the same time, it serves as prey for larger predators such as nocturnal birds, large snakes, and some small mammalian predators. Its interaction with the tropical ecosystem is complex, involving competition with other arthropods and behavioral adaptations that ensure the species' survival. Number 3. Black caiman. The Amazon is a perfect place for alligators and crocodiles to live and thrive. Well, sort of. It's an ideal environment for them to dominate local fauna, but we're not talking about just any of these animals here. The black caiman is a crocodilian and the largest predator in the Amazon ecosystem, potentially capable of capturing any animal within its reach, including other predators. And just to be clear, I mean largest by mass, not length. That title goes to a certain snake I mentioned earlier in this video. The fact is, the black caiman is so dangerous it can take on anyone or anything in this vast Amazonian forest, which should already cause apprehension. And before you ask, yes, the black caiman is absolutely capable of attacking humans, and attacks have been recorded in the past. What likely makes it one of the most dangerous monsters on this list is its dark coloration, allowing it to camouflage in local waters. Additionally, it hunts at night, blending perfectly and approaching its prey without them noticing the danger right beside them. Although it captures all kinds of prey, it doesn't kill with bites the way you might expect. Instead, it grabs the prey, drags it into the water, and lets it drown before consuming it slowly. A somewhat sadistic process, really. Regardless of the time of day, always stay alert in waters inhabited by the black caiman, because you probably won't know where it is until it's too late. Number 2. Spectacled bear. The spectacled bear, Tremarctos ornatus, also known as the Andean bear, is the only bear species native to South America. Surprisingly, this species inhabits regions ranging from the Amazon to the Andes, occupying humid tropical forests, mountainous areas, and cloud forests at altitudes between 500 and 4,750 meters above sea level. This adaptation to different ecosystems is a characteristic that makes it unique among bears worldwide, being both resilient and vulnerable depending on environmental conditions. One of the first things that stands out about the spectacled bear is its striking appearance. It has predominantly black or dark brown fur, but what truly distinguishes it are the light markings around its eyes, which may extend to the snout and forehead, forming unique patterns on each individual. These markings resemble spectacles, giving the bear its popular name. Interestingly, each spectacled bear has a different facial pattern, almost like a fingerprint, allowing individual identification in field studies. Behaviorally, the spectacled bear is predominantly solitary, except during mating season, or when females are accompanied by cubs. They are mainly active during dawn and dusk, displaying crepuscular behavior that helps reduce encounters with predators and humans. Despite being large and strong, these bears are generally peaceful and avoid confrontations. When threatened, they may display defensive postures, vocalizations, or quick escapes, rarely attacking without direct provocation. The spectacled bear's diet is omnivorous, but primarily vegetarian. They eat fruits, leaves, flowers, seeds, and roots, playing an essential role in dispersing seeds of various native species. They also supplement their diet with insects, small vertebrates, and bird eggs. Some individuals have developed specialized habits, such as opening cactus shells for water or breaking branches to reach inaccessible fruits, showing impressive intelligence and adaptability. Reproduction is relatively slow, typical of large mammals. Gestation lasts about 6 months, and females usually give birth birth to 1 or 2 cubs. Cubs are born blind and dependent, staying with the mother for up to 2 years, learning essential survival skills such as finding food, climbing trees, and identifying predators. This prolonged dependency makes the species especially vulnerable to environmental changes and hunting. Historically, spectacled bears face significant threats from hunting and habitat loss. In some regions, farmers persecuted them, fearing attacks on livestock despite the bear's natural diet being mostly plants and small animals. Agricultural expansion, mining, logging, and deforestation in Andean and Amazonian areas have drastically reduced their habitat, fragmenting populations and making survival even more difficult. Conservation efforts have been implemented in recent decades. National parks and nature reserves in Colombia, Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, and Venezuela have been created to protect critical feeding and breeding areas. Population monitoring projects, environmental education, and coexistence programs with rural communities have shown positive results, although the spectacled bear is still classified as vulnerable by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN. Spectacled bears also play a crucial ecological role. By dispersing seeds and controlling insect populations, they help maintain the balance of tropical and Andean forests. Their presence indicates relatively intact ecosystems and healthy biodiversity. Additionally, they serve as iconic species, drawing attention to the preservation of threatened habitats and inspiring conservation efforts for other species sharing the same environment. Behavioral curiosities include their excellent climbing ability. They can climb trees to reach fruits or build natural dens, using logs and dense vegetation as shelter. Number 1. Candiru fish or Karoo fish. I decided to leave the candiru fish for last because of a legend associated with it. No, it's not a made-up fish. It really exists and can be very dangerous to certain creatures. It is a parasitic fish that attaches itself to the gills of other fish and literally feeds on their blood. The irony is this is proven. Due to its relatively small size, it can reach 40 centimeters but can also be much smaller, allowing it to literally enter its host's body. This alone is monstrous, but it's not the main reason it's on the list. The reason comes from a local legend claiming these fish could attack humans by entering the male reproductive tract. Allegedly, they would swim against the urine stream in water to penetrate the organ. The legend spread so widely that people began to fear this fish more than any other predator. However, there have never been confirmed cases of this type of attack, so you probably don't need to worry. Moreover, the idea of a fish swimming up someone's urine is scientifically improbable, and so ends our journey through the great beauty and majesty of the Amazon, exploring all the creatures that live there and why they are considered so monstrous. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed our content, subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Also, check out other interesting content appearing on your screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. See you next time.